Hey everyone, I'm Alyssa, an Indianapolis Colts cheerleader for the 2024 season, and this is Believe in Colts.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Believe in Colts, and we are back. It's football time. Week 1, 2025. Oh my God, I am so excited. I know a lot of you are like, oh, I don't want to watch because Daniel Jones is the quarterback. Cry me a river. All right? Cry me a river. It's not like we've had a lot worse. I'm just going to say the last 2 years. I mean, come on. All right? Look, I'm telling you, Daniel Jones, I've discussed this a million times. The New York Giants were a bad football team. Now, I've watched. Their offensive line was garbage. They had no wide receivers. You know, they gave away. They had one good wide receiver. His best wide receiver was a rookie last year. Okay? His only real weapon outside of that, they let go. Right? Saquon left. And he was the only guy that really could help Jones. Look, put a good team around him, see what happens. He looked better than Anthony Richardson, okay, this preseason and during training camp. And the word consistent, that's real, okay? No one wants to see, ooh, really high one play and then down here and then, ooh, one good play and then he's good for Anthony Richardson is good for about one, maybe two. Oh my God, did you see that? Plays. And then he's good for about 4 or 5 of, oh my God, did you see that? Plays. So he needs to be more consistent. I think Daniel Jones is going to give us that consistency that we need. Now, he's not going to throw it 70 yards deep, but he is going to find the tight ends and get him the football. And is that or is that not what we've been complaining about for years now? Okay? And it's not just because our tight ends were bad. It was because, let's face it, half the time Anthony Richardson threw to a tight end, it was at their feet or over their heads. Okay? He couldn't hit him in the numbers for nothing. Argue with a wall. Because that's a fact. Okay? Now, I'm not out on Anthony Richardson. I'm not an AR hater. Okay? I think, that AR, with some time and practice, can get better. And could possibly become a franchise quarterback down the road. Did the Colts mishandle using him? Yes. I say they should have never started him in the first place. Yes, you only get better with reps. But they don't have to be game reps. Okay? He can learn through practice. It just is what it is. But anyhow, this isn't about the quarterback situation for the Indianapolis Colts. This is the Indianapolis Colts hosting the Miami Dolphins Week 1 of the 2025 NFL season. And we got a lot to unpack here, so let's do it, all right? First off, let's go their offense versus our defense. I know a lot of you, oh no, we have all these injuries. The only injury that we had that was a starter was Jalen Jones. They're expecting Jalen to be that next guy, right? He would walk in. But the problem is, we got Xavier Howard. Now, is he the prime Xavier Howard from 5 years ago? No. But you know what? I'm expecting something similar from him as what we got from Gilly, right? He wasn't prime Gilly, but he was a solid number 2. That's all I need out of Xavier Howard. A solid number 2. And that sounds really bad, don't it? Just realized the play on words on that one. No, I want him to be better than crap, okay? Let's face it, he's practiced against these Miami Dolphins that offensive coordinator and these wide receivers for how many years? If there's a game to start Xavier Howard, it's this game right now. Okay? And then, of course, we got Charvarius Ward on the other side at number 1. So, and then Kenny in the slot. I think our cornerbacks, great. Safeties, linebackers, But look, I think we got a good pass rush. The Miami Dolphins is working, I think, with 3 new offensive linemen. 3? Yeah. We have a pretty deep and rotatable defensive line. Utilize them. While you're at it, since they're new offensive linemen, how about our new defensive coordinator? Send some stunts, send a few blitzes, cover up some, show that you're going this way, but you're going that way. Do a lot of stuff, mix things up like he does, and maybe we can get to the quarterback. Because this offense, not just the offense, the team in general for Miami, they're one of the most injured teams in football. They're right up there with the Niners, okay? Because, look, you got Tua. Tua where, when the head coach calls in the play, if he calls it in too loud, Tua gets a concussion, okay? So, we just need to get to the quarterback. I'm not saying get in there and hit him so hard that he gets a concussion. I don't want to see anyone get hurt. But you could ruffle some feathers, jar some bones, get him a little scared, get him on his toes, get him throwing the football way before he needs to and wants to. Because they got one of the best wide receiving cores in all of football. One of the best. And it's going to really put a lot of pressure on our secondary between our safeties and our cornerbacks. Not to deal. Let's talk about the running back, because the running back that they have, he's a speedster. He can break one himself. He's had 200-300-yard games by himself. Okay? We can't let that happen. We can't let the Miami Dolphins run 300 yards on us. Okay, while they're healthy. So that's going to put us right onto the safeties and the linebackers and the defensive line. All right? We can't do what we had last year. We can't average like 10% missed tackles as a team. We just can't do it. All right? You miss a tackle against these guys. All these guys are fast. Tyreek Hill, a chain, all of them fast. Even Tua can move. Okay? You got to make the tackle. And we got to keep our safety deep and, make sure that nothing gets past him. Let him be the actual last line of defense. I don't want to see a single safety blitz in this entire game. You could show blitz all day long, but I don't want to see him go. I want at least single high, if not double high, most of this game to protect against the big play, because that's what Miami is all about, that big play. So, if we can stop the big play, which we haven't been able to in the last couple years, but then again, different defensive coordinator, right? But we can stop that and make tackles. We have a shot. Get this team frustrated, because if they don't get a big play here and a big play there and a big play, they can't just chuck it, 4, 5, 6 yards and do 12, 13, 14, 15 play drives consistently throughout a football game. This team is just not built that way. And when we force them to do that, we have a good chance of getting 3 and outs or turnovers. That's what we need to do on defense. Offensively versus their defense. Again, injuries. Injuries has played havoc on this defense. But they're healthy right now. And they have one of the best defensive pass rushes in all of football. You may not believe me, but they do. It's just the problem is a lot of them get hurt. All right, they got a lot of guys that I absolutely love coming out of college. And when they're on the field, they play damn good football. All right? So hopefully, our offensive line is up to that task. Now, the good thing is, Daniel Jones does have experience. All right? And he's used to bad offensive line play. So he's going to generally try to overprotect against certain areas, which is fine by me. All right? Protect the football, protect the quarterback. This is not a game where he's going to take 7-step drops and wait 3, 4, 5 seconds to heave one deep. This pass rush gets there quick. This is going to be all about timing and getting rid of the ball quickly and getting yak yards. All right? Completions, consistent play all the way down the field in order to beat this Miami Dolphins. Exactly what we wanted to do to their offense is what we want our offense to be able to do as well. And that is make 12, 13, 14, 15 play drives, get down and score. I believe that we have the offensive weapons to do that. Now, does that mean that AP is probably not going to get the 60-yard target? 1 or 2 or 3 of them this game? Probably not. He may get one. Who knows? Who knows? There might be a 50-yard bomb with his name on it. I don't know. But the odds of that go down dramatically against this pass rush. We're going to see a lot of dump-offs to the running backs. We're going to see a lot of tight ends. We're probably going to see more Michael Pittman Jr. and Josh Downs in this game. All right? And a little short, 5-yard drags or hitch or, 7-8 yard outs, little hooks here and there. That's what I'm expecting. But full and foremost, the best way to stop an aggressive pass rush is through running the football and screens. Whether it's a tight end screen or a running back screen, don't utilize wide receiver screens against this team. Okay? It ain't going to work. It's not going to work. We'll probably try it because we do have receivers who can run that. And we all know that our coordinator loves running them, but I would prefer a tight end screen or a running back screen against this team. But we got to play consistent football. So hopefully we could pull that off. I expect our tight ends to have over 100 yards receiving in this game as a group. Yes, Warren will probably lead the charge. Mo might get 1 or 2 catches. Ogletree probably get a couple catches as well. Our running back cores between Goodson. Heck, we might utilize the running backs between Goodson and Jonathan Taylor and DJ, the rookie. We might utilize those pretty well this game. Okay? And I would love to see the running backs get 30 touches this game. Love to see it. Between running the football and catching the football. Let them get 30 touches. I want to see this game be low scoring. Because if it's a high scoring game, it favors the Miami Dolphins. Because that's what they want to do. They want to play fast. And the Colts can do that. But right now, with a new quarterback at the helm, I don't think we should do that. I think we should play safe. Take it if it shows it. But if it don't, get that 4, 5, 6, 7 yards. Okay? Run the football. I think we could do that. Now, special teams, obviously I'm good with that. I'm good with our special teams. We're going to find out how this rookie does whether or not this rookie could do, what a lot of people have done in the past for the Colts, and that's place kicker very, very well. He's got a lot to live up to. He did pretty well in preseason. Now, he did have his struggles during training camp at times, but as time wore on, he got better. So hopefully that continues. Hopefully he's finally got himself in that rhythm, that in-season rhythm. Our offensive line, a lot of people want to know if I'm worried about our offense. I'm not worried about our offensive line. Look, I love our coach. And the guys that are new at the positions, specifically right guard and center, are second-year players. Okay? They're both second-year players. They played it there last year. Significant time. They came in during the offseason, but beefed up, buffed up. That's what I wanted to see. I think we're going to be good on the offensive line. A little worried about depth if someone goes down. Specifically, I'm looking at you, Braden Smith. When you're on the field, you're one of the better right tackles in the NFL. I want to see you stay healthy. Look, I know that you've had your knee problems, but man, I am praying that you're able to stay healthy this year, especially early on. Okay? Because like I said, when you're on the field, you're a stud. And of course, we've already paid our left tackle, and our left guard is one of the best left guard in football right now. Period. Maybe the best interior player in football right now. Yeah, offensive line, I really don't have that big of a worry unless someone goes down. That's the only worry I have at this point in time. But we'll figure that out. So I'm curious, what do you think the outcome of this game is going to be, right? Is it going to be a high-scoring game? Is it going to be a low-scoring game? Do you think we're going to do well in the passing game? Do you think that we're going to do poorly? Look, at this point in time, I cannot. I've always said take week 1 with a grain of salt, because this is the week where your starters are actually trying to get a feel for each other, especially the new guys. And since, year after year after year, it's a new quarterback starting. So, the wide receivers and stuff, they might be used to it by now. But the quarterback isn't, obviously, right? Every year, the new quarterback's got to get used to, all new group of people. And it is different preseason and training camp than it is at actual game time. Okay? So a lot of times, and then you got all new defensive coordinator where the team is trying to do something that they have not ever done, on this team, and that's play a lot of man, okay, and mixing things up, doing stuff that, we haven't seen in like 12 years, right? Between Bradley and Eberflus. Longer than that, probably. I mean, we've been a cover 2 team for how long? I can't remember the last time that we ran a man-style defense. I'm kind of excited to see how that turns out. But anyhow, I'm a little worried because when healthy, the Miami Dolphins are a very formidable team. All right. The problem is they get hurt. And when they get hurt, then they start to lose a lot, right? Obviously. That's with any team, generally. But Miami gets hurt a lot. Whether it's their quarterback, their running back, wide receivers, pass rushers, safeties, whatever it is, they get their guys hurt a lot. Hopefully this is a clean game. Nobody gets hurt on either side. And I'd really hope the Colts walk out of this with a W at home as they put Jim Irsay up in the Ring of Honor, okay? Because he absolutely deserves that. And on a day that happens, we should freaking win, all right? Whatever it takes. My prediction, and I think that's the one thing that's going to push the Colts over the top. Normally, under normal circumstances, I would have the Colts losing week 1 against a healthy Miami Dolphins by probably a touchdown. Maybe 2 touchdowns. But I think because Miami doesn't have a lot to go on with the defense, they don't know what we're going to be looking at. New quarterback with Daniel Jones. They don't have a whole lot to work with because, let's face it, preseason was very, very vanilla. I think the Colts could, and the Miami is still pretty much the same team they were last year, only healthy. So I got a feeling that we could catch the Dolphins off guard a little bit. I think we're going to end up with a couple turnovers in this game defensively. Offensively, I feel like we could be a very balanced team, somewhere around 375 total offensive yards. Not a lot, not high. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think the Indianapolis Colts win. Let's see, 17-13. That's what I got. Now, man, to see the Miami only get 13 points when they're fully healthy is, a lot of people's going to look at me and go, are you freaking kidding me? I think our defense has improved that much. The only thing that scares me really is, that the will linebacker. I'm not scared of Zaire. Zaire's going to do his job. He's going to make tackles. He's going to play the mic very well. I have no problem with Zaire. But we really don't know much about Cam McGrone. Okay? He played a little bit last year. That was it. So we'll see what happens. Well, that's my prediction. Let me know your prediction in the comments. Hey, if you're listening to this on an audio podcast, please, rate this, leave a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, please smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time we go live or upload a video. And until next time, as usual, go Colts.
Do you believe?